Hi, today I'm reviewing the Verdio UV Moisture Essence. And really quick, I just want to say I purchase these products with my own money. I'll never waste your time with sponsored ads or videos. So if you want to help support the channel, check out nobsbeauty.com, check my Patreon community, or click on the links below. Okay, so I've got a Beanie Baby. It looks like kind of like a golden little hamster. For Laura, a golden iridescent little hamster. I always had hamsters growing up. They're so cute. I had Fluffy, Nibbles, Fluffy Jr.'s, Nibbles Jr. And I think that was about it. They all had, like, junior names. Anyway, not very creative, was I? Fluffy, Nibbles, Fluffy Jr., Nibbles Jr. So there we go. Okay. So this is one my Sunscreen Guardian Angel sent me a while ago. And I had quite a chance to try it and test it out last summer. And now finally get a chance to review it. So anyway, this sunscreen has quite a lot of good things going for it. So, and I will discuss all of those. So they call us a high-performance sunscreen that keeps out UV rays, pollen, and fine particles while providing moisturizing benefits. It comes in a gentle essence-type formulation that's suitable for even the most sensitive of skin. For face and body, water and sweat resistance, can be used as a makeup base, and it washes off pretty easily for the most part. So, this is also made by the OMI brand, O-M-I, OMI. There we go. Okay, so they also, I think, make a lotion version of this as well. So my first criteria is packaging, and they've done a nice job with the packaging. No issues at all. It's easy to find because it's green. You don't see a lot of green skincare bottles, especially lime green. So I love it for that. In terms of denatured or drying types of alcohol, this does not contain any of those, which makes it a nice option because there are so many sunscreens that have denatured alcohol in them, which isn't terrible if you layer it with a good moisturizer, but still better off avoiding it when possible. And then in terms of fragrance, so my first test of this, I initially thought it had a light scent to it. However, looking at the ingredient list, it doesn't have any fragrance ingredients. So the scent is almost like a little bit of a sunscreen scent, but almost like a little fruity almost. But then it dissipates immediately, and now that I looked and it doesn't have any fragrance in it, I don't really notice it. Not sure what's up with that, but there we go. I like to test products out before I really look at the ingredients, because then sometimes it gives me a misperception when I'm looking for certain ingredients and I don't notice them. So there we go. The manufacturer for this one is Japan. Then in terms of the SPF, this has SPF 50 plus. Typically, you're really, in a lot of countries, aren't supposed to label them higher than 50. So 50 with a plus after it typically indicates higher than 50, like 60 or so. Although the higher you go up in SPF, the less real benefits you get. So like the difference between SPF 60 and SPF 100 isn't a ton, but the difference between SPF 15 and SPF 50 is big. But the higher up, you get diminishing returns. Okay, the UVA protection factor. UVA rays are the ones that age us. So they've really been overlooked for a long period of time, up until the last decade or so. And now people are learning more about UVA rays and how they really can cause wrinkles and things like that. So this one has a PA with 4 pluses, which is generally 4 pluses, the highest amount of pluses, although in some countries 3 is your limit. So with 4 pluses, it typically means that it has a PPD, or a persistent pigment darkening factor, of 16 and up. So you really don't get a whole heck of a lot of details on it, but 16 up is excellent. So, although there are some sunscreens that have ridiculously high UVA ratings, like some of the Bioderma Photomax lines. So, anyway, based on the filters, I'm convinced this has a really good UVA protection as well as UVB protection. So, let's talk about the filters, and then I will swatch and talk about white cast and texture and things like that. So, we've got octinoxate, which is also known as Uvinol MC80, which is a clear, oil-free, cosmetically elegant liquid that absorbs UVB rays. Then we've got Tinsorb S, which is a very photostable filter. It also absorbs the whole spectrum of UVB and UVA rays, and it is also useful in stabilizing less stable sunscreen agents, such as things like avobenzone. Then we've got Uvinol A+, a great UVA ray absorber designed for high UVA protection, and it's very photostable. It protects the entire UVA range, which is great. It's a really good filter. Then we've got Uvinol N539, which is a UVB and a little bit of a UVA2 range absorber. So this one is not very photostable, but it works better when it's combined with other filters such as the Uvinol and the tin sorbus. So 4 filters in here, which is a lot better than some of the other sunscreens that we've been seeing lately that have been debunked as not so great. Pretty much all of those use 2 filters, so the fact that this one uses 4 and it uses a combination of UVB and UVA absorbers, I'm pretty happy with that and satisfied that this does a pretty good job. Okay, in terms of the white cast, this one's pretty transparent. So once you smooth it in, it really is invisible, especially for me and my skin. So there we go. Once you apply it, clear, no issues with white cast, which is great, especially for those with deeper skin tones that aren't quite as pale as I am. Then we got the texture. So I find this has a light lotion texture, applies pretty nicely, sets to a non-sticky finish. A lot of people mention that it's kind of greasy for them. For me, I don't really find it greasy. I guess I set it with a little powder and I'm good to go. My skin's super dry though, so if you have oilier skin, I could see how this would be a bit greasy feeling. For me, I didn't have any issues with that. So then ease of application, applies pretty easily, smooths over skin nicely. Natural finish. I didn't find it look super greasy, and I didn't find it looked really matte either. It works well under foundation, or if you don't want to use foundation, a little bit of powder I think will make that greasiness go away. And I didn't find it ended up looking super greasy at the end of the day for me, but my skin's really, really dry. So very easy to use. I like the texture. I like the finish. No issues at all with that. Antioxidants and other beneficial ingredients. So we've got a few. Not a whole ton. We've got something called Jobs Tears, which is used in some J Beauty and Asian beauty products, which is a extract that is very rich in niacin, which is great for your skin. Then we've got vitamin E, which is a very good antioxidant. It's also very hydrating. We've got green tea, another good antioxidant. We've got skullcap root, which is a very potent antioxidant. It's also great for anti-inflammatory purposes. It's rich in flavonoids, such as biacolin, biacillin, and then wagonin. There we go. Then we've also got aloe, which is very good for hydrating. So not a whole ton of beneficial ingredients, but we've got a few really good ones in here, which is better than a lot of other sunscreens. In terms of acneogenic ingredients, we've got a few. We've got hexylene glycol, hydrogenated polyisobutene, and then glyceryl stearate, and then carbomer. So we've got a few, and a couple of those are fungal acne triggers, so keep that one in mind. In terms of amyl testing, per YesStyle, this brand is cruelty-free. So there we go. In terms of performance, I tested a lot last summer. I found it does a pretty good job. It is pretty sweat resistant, although you really do need to reapply every 2 hours. I found it, aside from it setting a little greasy initially, it doesn't really get super greasy throughout the day. And it does a really good job. I didn't get burned at all using this one, which is pretty impressive. And it's also pretty easy to reapply because it doesn't have a thick white cast or a thick texture. It's really light. So that is a huge factor for a lot of people. So if reapplication is something you're dedicated to doing, this one's really easy to reapply. Then in terms of the price, so normally I'd have all these good factors and then lead up to it being really expensive. However, that is not the case. This is the full size, which is 1.7 ounces, 50 milliliters, and it retails for about $11 on YesStyle. So pretty darn affordable, pretty good option for sensitive skin, and it also provides pretty good protection. So with a 15 being a perfect score, this one got a 14, which makes it one of the best sunscreens I've reviewed so far. We haven't had a lot of 14s, and I don't think we've had a total 15 yet. So Anyway, worth checking out. I'm interested in hearing from you guys if you've had a chance to try this one out yet or not. And if you have what your thoughts are. So definitely leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys. And stay tuned for more tomorrow. Thank you so much.